So this trading example is going to be based on heavy volume area which got created within a sell-off. This was the sell-off, and within this sell-off there was this heavy volume area with high volume node in here at 1.1877, and let me just move the line a bit so you can see the numbers in here. As you can see, those are really heavy volumes if you compare it to the rest of the volumes in this footprint chart. Now this is the resistance zone to trade with the order flow. So when there's a pullback, I expect a reaction like this. So let's scroll the chart a bit and let's see what happens as the price will approach this level. Let's see what happens on the 5-minute footprints, and I'll comment on how I think would be the best way to approach this trade. Right, so let me fast forward a bit before the price reaches this level. Currently there's nothing really special happening, so that there's not really a sign that the price should go upwards and go towards this level, but that's not really important. Now this is important. Let me stop it for a while, and this is really important. This aggressive buying activity. This is the most important thing from this whole chart. Aggressive buyers jumping in, creating buying imbalances and pushing the price aggressively upwards towards the level. Now what we want to see now is some sellers appear in here. So I'll slow down the market replay so we can see that in real time. Currently there are just aggressive buyers pushing the price upwards. But this would be the entry level. So if you are trading with limit orders, if you are not waiting for any sort of confirmation on the order flow, this would be the entry point. Now there are some sellers entering. Alright, sellers are showing up. Not too many of them, but maybe some more will show up later. More sellers jumping in. Now, if there wasn't this resistance level, I wouldn't really consider going short. But because there is this resistance level, I want to see any sign of sellers entering the market. And I think that we are seeing the source right here. So this would actually be sort of confirmation to go short if you haven't entered with a limit order. Alright. Not too strong confirmation, but at least something. Sellers entering just one tick below the resistance level. Now let me talk about ideal place for stop loss for this trade. So let's scroll back at this chart. In this case, I would choose the stop loss somewhere in here. This would be 10 pips, which is, I think, quite adequate for such a trade. I'll just make the color red, so it's easier to read. All right, so it's in here. And now let's talk about ideal place for a take profit. Now, ideal scenario would be in here. This would be the ideal take profit. In here, this line, because of the volumes. Heavy volumes there, which means possible support, which means that you want to quit the trade before the support. You can also see filtered trade in here, which confirms the support. But there's one more thing which is pretty important to notice, and it is those buying imbalances, because this is also very strong support. And I don't really think it would be too clever to try and hold your position through this area, because this is really strong support. Those are really aggressive buyers who will most likely be trying to defend their buying positions if the price goes this way. So in this case, I think it would be success to have risk reward ratio 1. So if we are risking 10 pips, then it would be success to take profit somewhere in here, also 10 pips, before the price reaches into this strong support. If this strong support wasn't there, then the ideal place for the take profit would be in here, in this area. But because of this support, you don't really want to risk a fight with those aggressive buyers. You don't really want to be in a short trade when those buyers are present, all right? So somewhere in here, there would be an ideal place to quit the short trade. So let's continue with the replay. Let's see how this develops. More sellers managed to jump in here. As you can see, this is the high volume node of this footprint so far, and the delta in it is negative in this high volume node. There are more aggressive sellers than buyers. So to me, it seems that the sellers are currently absorbing the buying pressure, and they are trying to push the price downwards from this resistance. More sellers jumping in. This is definitely a sign of sellers entering their shorts and making a reaction to this resistance. Delta is very close to 0. So for this footprint, the delta actually ended up on 0. So let's see what happens next. So far, this footprint doesn't tell us anything important. Delta around 0, nor big numbers on the bid nor on the ask. Delta turns negative, there's selling imbalance in here. More sellers jumping in. Negative delta. For the first time since the price hit this resistance, there's negative delta in this footprint. So we got the level confirmed in here by aggressive sellers jumping in, then delta turning negative, and the sellers are jumping in. Delta is negative again. The price enters this support area, so this would be the time to quit the trade. If you are more aggressive, you may wait for some sort of confirmation that the buyers are entering their longs before you quit your short. The delta is still slightly negative for this footprint, but it seems that buyers are jumping in here. Delta close to zero, there's selling imbalance, buying imbalance. Currently there is not any sign of aggressive buyers reacting to this area. It seems sort of balanced. Seems like buyers are jumping in here. Delta turning slightly positive. If you still were in that trade by now, it would probably be best to quit it. Because the sellers are not really there. They are not really aggressive sellers in this footprint. This seems balanced, and now buyers are jumping in. So this would be the time to quit it, to quit the short. Because sellers aren't dominating the market in here. It seems that buyers are joining up again. And all this happening in this support zone. So you don't want to be too greedy. Best to take your profit and go. Delta turning positive. And price turning upwards. Let me fast forward. Yeah, more buyers jumping in. This would be the time to quit. And delta is positive. This is an important thing to notice, because this candle closed lower than it opened, so it is a selling candle, but delta is positive. Also, heavy volumes in this footprint are in the upper half, and there are not really too many heavy volumes traded in here. If they were, if the sellers are pushing the price downwards, there would be heavy volumes in here trying to push the price downwards. But nobody really wants to trade lower than this, it seems, and the heaviest volumes are traded in here. So all those are signs that it would just be best to quit the trade somewhere in here with a 10 pip profit. Let's see what happens next. Just out of curiosity, all right? I'll fast forward a bit. Yeah, positive delta. As you can see, the cumulative delta is rising again. Yeah, buyers are back in the game again. And we are back at the entry point. Alright, so this was the last video of those replay videos. I hope you guys liked them. I hope you found them useful. I'll add one more bonus video to this. It is a live trading video where I was trading the SP500. I was waiting for a confirmation there for a short trade. So this will be sort of a bonus video which I'll place behind all those videos. But this video, which you just saw, was the last video of the order flow course. So I hope you guys liked it. I hope you found it useful. I hope that you will start trading with the order flow. I hope that you'll get some practice with it and that you'll start using it on a daily basis. You can always use this market replay or the playback function of the NinjaTrader. It's really handy, especially for the order flow, because you can replay any day and make it sort of training for live trading situations. Alright, so anyways, that's about it. Thanks for watching until the end. Thanks for following what I do. Thanks for visiting my website, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you in some next video. And until then, stay safe and happy trading.